Hi class, let's take a look at example 13. And example 13 deals with going from centimeters to meters. So technically we're going to use 565 centimeters. The conversion, let me just go to the conversion table. And in this case, 100 centimeters, it's actually equal to 1 meter. So that's the conversion we're going to use. So let me go back to the problem. Okay, so in this case, 100 centimeters, it's going to be equivalent to 1 meter. And let me cancel the units. In this case, centimeters cancel. And we're left with 565 divided by 100. And this will be meters. And what this is going to do is just move the decimal place from here, a total of 1 and 2 positions. So without going into the calculator, we're going to end up with 5.65 meters. And let me write it as a sentence. In this case, 565 centimeters represents 5.65 meters. Okay, that's actually it for this particular one. Let's move on to problem 14. And in problem 14, please take a second and read it. There's two measurements that they want us to compare. In this case, 61 millimeters, which is the distance between the pupils of the eyes, and then 7 centimeters. They're asking which one is longer. So in this case, we need to compare the following two measurements: 61 millimeters and technically 7 centimeters. The main idea is that they're asking which one is longer. Now, the basic problem that we have here is that we don't have a common unit. And I think it'll be easier if we just basically start with the 7 centimeters and change it into millimeters. So in this case, 7 centimeters, it's going to be equivalent to the following. Let me go to the conversions. And I think we're going to end up with a problem. So not a problem, but a minor inconvenience. So there's no direct change of unit between centimeters and millimeters. But what we could do here is first use 100 centimeters, change it into a meter. And then from a meter, we can go to millimeters. In this case, we're using the 1000. So let me do the first change to meters. And this is just one way to approach it. There could be another conversion table with the value already included. So in this case, I'm going to change it into a meter. So 100 centimeters, this represents 1 meter. And then the last one is going to be that 1 meter. Let me go back to it. 1 meter represents 1000 millimeters. So 1 meter represents 1000 millimeters. And let me cancel the units to make sure that we're good on the cancellation. In this case, centimeters cancel, millimeters cancel, and we're left with a little bit of a mess. So we're left with 7 times 1000 over the values of 100. And now this is millimeters, which we need to technically simplify. You can cancel the zeros, and we're going to end up with a total of 70 millimeters. And then let me just rewrite it out that in this case, 7 centimeters represents 70 millimeters. And then I'll just say, hence, since we're technically comparing 61 millimeters to the equivalent 70. Um, 70 millimeters is longer. Hence, in this case, the distance from the pupil to the middle of the upper lip is 70 millimeters and longer than the distance. And we're talking about the distance from both pupils. Okay, that's actually it. Keep in mind that they're not just asking for the conversion, they're actually asking which one is longer. So in answering this one, we have to mention, and let me rewrite longer. They're asking for a specific measurement, in this case longer than the distance from the pupils, which ended up being just 61 millimeters. That's actually it for this one. This actual problem required 2 steps, which is compare units that are equivalent. In this case, we did. We changed everything to millimeters, and we could have done the same as centimeters. And then from there, we answer the question that which one is longer. Let's take a second and move on to problem 15. And in problem 15, take a second and read it. The main question that they're asking is the distance in kilometers. So we're going to look at 89.3 miles. And let me go back to the actual conversion. So in this case, there's 2 possible ones. Let me use this one because I don't think we used this one before. 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. So in this case, we're going to rewrite it as 1 mile. It's 1.61 kilometers. And then in the unit conversion, we're going to be canceling these, and we end up with, in this case, 89.3 times 1.61. This will be kilometers. So let me use the calculator so we can compare answers. So in this case, we're multiplying 89.3 times 1.61. So that's equivalent to 143.773. So let me rewrite it as 143.773 kilometers. And then our main answer, let me just rewrite it here. So 89.3 miles represents 143.773, and in this case, that would be kilometers. That's actually it for this one. Our final answer would have been a little bit different if we would have used the other conversion. They're only a little bit off. I mean, if we would have round, we would probably end up on the same using both conversion, which is about 144, rounding to the nearest kilometer. Let's take a look at example 16. In example 16, they're talking about yards, and they want us to express it as feet. So we're looking at 140 yards. And then the conversion factor here. So yards to feet, that was here. So yards to feet is 3. So technically, 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. And as we do the cancellation, yards cancel. And we're going to be left with, that's going to be 0. That's going to be 2, and we carry 1. I'm getting 420 feet. And let me check it because, well, this is an easy one and I don't want to mess it up. So 140 times 3. This ends up being 420. Okay. And then as our final answer, we're talking about 140 yards. Represents 420 feet. Okay, that's actually it for this last set of problems.